Welcome to PeopleTools Tech Tips. I'm Randy Gronke. Having issues with insight states? I've had a few. Let's talk about them. If you're still with me, welcome. I assume you're also having an issue with insight states, or you're wondering if you are and haven't found them yet. As of the time I'm making this video, I have found two issues. In some cases, dates are displayed in insights are off by 1 day, and documents with null dates not displaying in Insights data tables. I'm going to explain both of these issues and demonstrate my workaround. This workaround is the best way I've found so far to correct these problems. If a better solution appears, I'll update the post and make another video. The scope of this video is just to demonstrate these issues with dates in Insights dashboards and provide a possible solution. Extracting data from PeopleSoft to Insights, creating index patterns, dashboards, and visualizations are beyond the scope of this video. We assume that you're already familiar with the building and viewing of PeopleSoft Insights dashboards. All the objects used in this demonstration, including the Insights dashboards, are available at PeopleToolsTechTips.com and our GitHub site, PeopleTools Tech Tips. You can import these into a HCN 9.2 environment with PeopleTools 8.6.1 or later to view our code and follow along. My problem with some date values in Insights is how the dates are transferred and stored in Insights as opposed to how they're stored in my Oracle database. The dates appearing in Insights visualizations can be off by 1 day. The problem appears to be that OpenSearch is storing the date in UTC format where Oracle is storing the date as of the local time zone. Here is an Insights data grid with data extract from HCM PUM 51. We look at the effect date for employee ID KU0106 and we see that the value is 5/27/1999. Clicking on our dynamic link to the job data component for this employee, we see that the effective date on job really is 5/28/1999. Insights is off by 1 day. Let's go to SQL Developer and see what is in the database for this employee, and we see that KU0106 has an effective date of 5/28/1999. While we're here, also notice that employee KU0015's effective date is 2/2/1998. Bottom line, we want the date displayed in Insights to be the same value as the date in PeopleSoft. Let's go to Insights Discover tool and look at the source documents for this data. Here we have employee ID KU0015, and we see that the effective date on the JSON document is February 1st, 1998 at 1900 hours. This is the UTC date, and it shows the day prior to the date recorded in the PeopleSoft database. Back to SQL Developer, and we see our date is 2/2/1998. Somehow, the UTC timestamp was introduced and stored when the data was exported to OpenSearch. The way I found to correct this is to use the Painless scripting language to create scripted fields that pulls our date out of the UTC format and displays the same value as in our application and database. Navigate to our index pattern. First, I'm going to work with the effective date, so copy that field name to the clipboard. Click on the scripted field link at the top, then add a scripted field. Give the field a name. I like to use SCR_ as a prefix so I can easily identify these later. Type is string. Then, down in the script box, type our formula. The formula is below this video. Also, look for this in our blog post on PeopleToolsTechTips.com website. First, we check for a null value so the script doesn't error. If doc, bracket, our field name, bracket, dot size method equals 0, return dash. Effective date is a key date, so it should never be null, but it's a good habit to always check. Else, set up a variable for the date value. Zone date time ZDT equals our field value, semicolon. Then return ZDT.format date time formatter of pattern year, month, day. Now, preview the results with the link at the bottom of the page. Click on the Preview Results tab, and we see our date formatted as a string. Save the field. Navigate back to our visualization. We're going to put our scripted effective date field right next to the other effective date field so we can see the differences. Turn on the position entry date. We'll fix that problem later. Add split rows, aggregation as terms, find our new scripted effective date field and give it a label. Update. We see our scripted effective date right next to the original effective date. The scripted effective date has the correct values. A second problem we have is the position entry date. We want to add the position entry date to the data grid and have it reflect the same value as we see in PeopleTools. Let's add that field to the data table. Looking at the field in SQL Developer, we can see that here that our data has 2 rows that have null values for position entry dates. The nulls are going to create a problem because the data table doesn't like displaying null value in the columns. Remember, the Insights data table is not a report. It's an analytic visualization just the same as a bar or pie chart. Let's add our position entry date field to the grid. Before we update our visualization, notice that we have 5 rows in our grid. Click on Update. The position entry date column appears, but we lose 2 rows of data from the data table. Those documents with the null position entry dates have disappeared. Insights is just removing those whole rows from the grid if they have a null value. Let's turn the field off and refresh to see the data return. Now turn the field back on again and the rows disappear. Also, look at the values of position entry dates. Here we have 5/27/1999 for employee ID KU0106. Looking at that employee's job page, we see that the position entry date is 5/28/1999. 1 day later than what's showing in the grid. So not only is the date displayed in Insights data table wrong, but it's also removing rows with legitimate null dates. Let's save that visualization. Go back to our index pattern. Find our position entry date field and copy the field name to the clipboard. Now, create a scripted field using the same formula as we did with the scripted effective date field. The only difference is our different source field name. Preview the field to test our script. Create a field to save. Now, back to our data grid. Add that new scripted position entry date field to the table. Update the visualization. We see our new scripted position entry date field next to the original position entry date. Our new scripted field has the correct date. Now let's look at this again. We have employee KU0106 position entry date was 5/28/1998, which is the same date as our scripted position entry date. Now let's turn off the original position entry date with the null values that caused the rows to disappear from the table and update. I'm also going to turn off the original effective date. Update, and there is our data in the grid we're looking for. The correct dates as in our PeopleSoft application, and all the rows even if they happen to have a null date. Now as a note, all 3 environments that I tested this issue with were using an Oracle database. I don't know if this problem even exists with SQL Server or DB2. I'm posting this blog and video with a little apprehension and expectation that someone will contact me with a much easier, straightforward fix for both of these problems. Probably something in the OpenSearch or Insights server configuration. But this is what I have until that smarter, more knowledgeable person comes along. We have these dashboards currently in production and didn't have time to socialize a better solution. A good idea now is better than the perfect solution too late. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing to our channel, and we'll see you next time here on PeopleTools Tech Tips.